are live on YouTube, I think. So, hey, everybody, I'm Charlie Bright, and this is the Awards Heaven after post show for the 2025 Golden Globes. Yes, I'm still going by year that all this shit was released, and I am here with my podcast mates Rob, Tony, and Christopher. And so the ceremony finally just wrapped up. Literally, it's 11:25 here on the East Coast, the one that matters. And well, okay, for this stuff, yes, West Coast matters somewhat.
I'm on the
Um,
East Coast too.
they with all the Australian involvement, they have to consider Sydney time in this as well now. They just have
I
to.
think so. I
Yeah.
think so.
Um, and so just what are initial thoughts on what happened tonight, ceremony, everything, vibes? What do you guys think?
There's so many things to talk about. I usually like to categorize them in my correct, weird, slightly ADHD head, and that is, it's like, how does this affect the awards season and Oscars? What was the show like? What was in terms of as an entertainment, and then what were the winners and like in terms of what they chose? So like, there's three the ways I'm looking at it, and I'm just going to start with. I think we should just start with how does this affect the awards race so far? That's where I need to be right now because then I'll start complaining about the show. And one battle after another has really cemented itself as the front runner, quite rightly. And some of the winners were really quite exciting because it helps their campaign. I was a little bit disappointed for Amy Madigan because I just wanted to see her steamroll through the whole thing. But that's okay because I love Tiana Taylor and she was awesome as a winner. And I think the Hamnet ascendancy is something exciting to watch because I thought it was going to be Sinners. And I was really, really happy to see Wagner Moura win, and I'm hoping that he will follow the lead of Fernando Torres from last year and then parlay that win into an Oscar nomination. So that's where I'm at right now.
Tony.
Oh, I was actually starting to wonder if Adrian Brody was producing this Golden Globe ceremony because it just, kept going and going and going and going. And it's ironic to me, like how can a show that actually moved its Lifetime Achievement Awards to a separate event?
I completely forgot about that until like 5 minutes before the ceremony tonight. I was like, "Oh yeah, wait, Sesame the Middle Award. Oh wait, they're not even doing it this year on the damn
And the other one,
ceremony."
Carol
And yet they
Burnett,
managed, and yet they managed to be longer. Um, that
endless.
and we can get more into that later. As far as awards go, I think the only truly kind of significant shocker was Hamnet winning drama.
You
Um,
assholes! I switched it. I switched yesterday after our goddamn podcast. You all said Sinners, and I went, "God damn it!" And I said, "God damn it,
Yeah.
fuckers!"
well, I think
You are
here's what this
so lucky
does.
I'm more stoned right now, and this McFlurry is incredible.
But that McFlurry is really hitting deep.
I'm eating my feelings for Christ's sake.
Um, no, but one of the things that I think that this did, I think by Hamnet winning drama, I think it actually cements One Battle After Another as the Best Picture winner. I don't think it's even close now.
No.
Um,
Yeah.
I don't care if Sinners wins SAG Ensemble. I just think One Battle After Another is just too the love clearly in that room, and that room is full of Oscar voters. The love
Yeah.
for that film it was palpable. And I mean, for what I said in our group chat that there was a moment where I actually thought that Chase Infinity was going to win comedy actress
Yeah.
because the
Mhm.
roar of approval, the roar from the audience for her was so big.
Yep.
But yeah, other than that, repeat of the Emmys. The television awards were boring. Nothing really shocking or interesting happened there. Um, and so we'll get into all that other stuff later. Chris, what about you?
Hold on, let me readjust my look here because So when this clip is inevitably chosen next year for the podcast category, I wanna look good because this is exactly what you would wear to present yourself on television. No,
Okay.
I'm recovering from a cough, so hence I want to keep myself warm. But yeah, lately it's the Globes have been like given the latest precursors and the guilds and the BAFTAs and their let's just say pathetic display of representation for international films, the Globes have kind of become sort of a really pivotal precursor to determine the future, the award Oscar futures of those said international films, which makes you briefly forget how predictable these winners can be. TV side, always go with the Emmy winner or the Emmy nominee, unless it's like a very trendy, zeitgeisty, audience-friendly show like Pluribus or The Penguin. And then film, it's it's mostly what most people predicted, if not their second choice. Yeah, it really didn't matter who won drama because one battle after another is going to sweep this. It's even, I think, and if anything, this proves that Sinner is not even going to win SAG Ensemble because like one battle after another has been sweeping all the critics prizes, won the big four. It is not lost. So what's stopping it now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for some reason I was just thinking like when has it ever really been a surprise when the best picture frontrunner wins SAG Ensemble? There have been years where it feels like it feels like sometimes SAG Ensemble the best picture winner winning that can be some sort of like weird thing. I don't know. I'm just spouting here because it was so predictable, as you said, Chris. But I think of years where where it was kind of weird where the best picture frontrunner won at SAG Ensemble. The one I keep on going to was No Country for Old Men. Like that was, but it was the only best picture nominee in that year's lineup. All the other ones I know they were not they didn't get best picture nominations. Um, I guess that's my roundabout way of saying, yeah, this was pretty boring and predictable. I think it's just that we do, but that isn't to say that there are still questions we have about certain aspects of this race. Where do we all see? It's interesting that I also at the last minute I switched to Jacob Elordi like you two did, and so uh, the award for being right about supporting actor goes to Dan Bayer from our last episode.
And
He's on our last episode. Don't get greedy, Chris. Um, but yes, and I switched at the last minute to Jacob Elordi. But I think this does mean that I think this does keep supporting actor kind of interesting, at least for at this moment, because we now know that the Globe winner will not repeat at SAG.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which means
honestly,
it's probably gonna come down to BAFTA.
But what if it's one of those things where like it BAFTA goes one way, but then it ends up being the reason I ask this is because I always seem to, whenever it comes down to choosing between the trends between the SAG Awards and BAFTA, I always lean on what ends up being wrong. Uh,
Mm.
I did that with Austin Butler. I did that with Carrie Condon. I did that with Kate Blanchett. I did that with, oh, what was one of the last year's ones that I did that with? That they steered me wrong many a time. So I honestly just don't know what to make of it at this point.
Yeah.
And I think that at
Yeah.
least makes the category interesting.
Yeah. It sure does. Should we do we all have like a something that we really didn't like? I want to get all the negative shit out of the way, and then maybe we should just go through it kind of almost category
On
by
the
category.
I'll start with the negative shit on at least from the race perspective. And I think that any momentum for it was just an accident just kind of died tonight.
Gone.
I feel like it's going to be one of those things that it gets in, but it's not winning. It's probably not winning screenplay either. But I think maybe it's possible still because it's the one category that One Battle After Another isn't going. We will definitely not be in his original screenplay.
Yeah.
But then again, that might just be Sinners, and we might just not know it. So who knows?
Yeah.
But I think the
Um,
momentum for that is kind of gone, and I think that The Secret Agent has all of it going into the Oscars.
I will say
yeah. I
BAFTA is sentimental value bait. So it could take foreign language or non-English language film over there, but Secret Agent has that momentum and it has that passion. I think that's what we've seen many years recently is that passion trumps narrative. Like no one has a bigger narrative than Jafar Panahi this year. Um, and right now, I it I mean, it was just an act. It's safe in Best Picture. It won the Palme d'Or. That trend probably won't go away anytime soon. But director is could be very concerning in a very crowded category. And who knows? Maybe Kleber Mendoza Filio could squeeze his way in as like that artsy passion pick, international film pick. Um, and tonight was the first time I really thought that it was just an accident, was in trouble because Guilds, it missing Guilds makes sense. It missing most of the BAFTA long list makes sense given their problems. But the fact that it didn't win anything here, and proves that like it's just lost its momentum. And
The
given
only, and the sad thing about it is that the only thing that I think can actually uh, uh, get it any momentum is if there is some sort of cataclysmic uprising in Iran, which, hey, I've heard of. I don't think I've heard. I mean, it's sad that this is where we are in the international feature race, or at least in global politics in general. But where this is like the only thing I can grab onto that could possibly affect its chances.
yeah. I think maybe the issue just is that there are so many really strong non-English language films this year or this past year, and Sentimental Value was able to take home some hardware. The Secret Agent obviously took home a couple. Um, and we're going to see a lot of these same films at the Oscars, like The Voice of Hind Rajab, I hope. Kawthar Ben Hania, the director, she's on the long list at the BAFTAs. I know that's probably because they have a gender diversity requirement there, but still, it doesn't hurt that she's being recognized.
And she made it in over Panahi.
That's right. She made it in over Panahi. And then, of course, we have other films that have done quite well on the shortlists, and even here at the Globes, like Sirat, and of course, like K-pop Demon Hunters, which I know is not a foreign language film, but is still we're seeing a lot of international films,
International
and so
culture.
yeah, and so I feel like, that's the reason. I don't think it was just an accident, it is being snubbed. I just feel like it's just not really rising to the top because there's so many great films like No Other
Yeah, and
Choice.
it's
Like
not
we
like,
could,
and I should preface this by saying I'm sad that it's losing. I'm not angry that The Secret Agent is winning.
yeah, it's a
That
great
doesn't,
film.
yeah, this is not like how I felt like with my immense hatred of Renee Zellweger's win for Judy. This is, even though, yes, there are ones I am personally rooting for, but I
Note.
can't say that it's to anything that's in lesser quality or lesser deserving. Let's face it. I mean, it would make sense that we would have back-to-back winners from Brazil, considering Brazil is also in the midst of a political situation that's very similar to to what we have going on here in the States right now. At least in terms of there's very divisive. It's just a very divisive and uh, just a genuine divisiveness within the population. And
Yeah,
they're going through their own thing right now. And I also don't want to make any statements that make me seem like I feel like I know more than anybody else, because I only know it from the most, just I've seen articles about it, mindset. Um, about the ceremony itself, I felt like the ceremony was all right. I actually felt like the ceremony did, until like the last like 20 minutes. I felt like it was actually, I felt like the pace actually was pretty good. It's just that they had so much they were putting in there. And this really highlights, the absurdity of, like you said, Tony, the removing of one of the most solemn parts of it, the honorary awards that would have been ordinarily the Cecil B. DeMille Award, which went to Dame Helen Mirren this year. And how much of, considering how awesome Helen Mirren always is whenever she gets something, like why did you do this if you're going to deprive us of that moment during the ceremony?
They also removed Best Score.
Then they also removed Best Score. Yeah.
Can we talk about that, please? I need to talk about it because I'm
yes.
Okay, so that's the one category that I really, really care about, and I know it's not like
And we know
star-studded.
Right didn't unfortunately get that one.
I get it. So they announce it off screen because we just get a quick like, oh, Ludwig Göransson won, blah blah blah. Who cares? And
They
then
didn't even
we
show a
had
picture of it. They just said it, and then it automatically introduced the next presenter.
And then because we had to make space for the UFC to come out. What the fuck was that all about? And they were to come out because of the two stars from Heated Rivalry. Now, I get it. They're cool, they're fun, they're hip right now, they're a big name, they're going to attract a lot of attention, it's going to be clipped all over social media. I totally get it. Not a problem. Don't care. But it was like, we don't care about the composers because we want to pretend that Heated Rivalry is so important that we have to get the UFC out. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Please. Someone please explain this to me because this is bullshit.
Well, I think Charlie's being too generous. I think that Nikki Glazer's opening monologue was fantastic.
So funny.
And then everything after that was a shit show. A shit show.
Banter.
A shit show. I mean, and I'm sorry, I'm going to be mean and horrible right now. And you can at me, and I don't care because I don't have social media.
A teacher, Tony, you're such a fucking teacher.
Guilty. I'm sorry. Whoever the fuck decided that there was crackling chemistry between Kevin Frazier and Mark Malkin, who both need to be put in a soundproof booth and never have the doors opened. I'm sorry. What the fuck was all of that? It was terrible. It was god awful. I started like praying that they would seat everybody closer so I wouldn't have to hear Mark Malkin's inane ramblings.
Oh shit, those were the announcers, right?
Yes.
Oh, for the love of God. Okay, I was wondering who the fuck you were talking about, and that's because I tried to block them out as much as I could.
Yeah, they need to stop that. It's not a good thing on an award show. We don't want that.
I understand where they were coming from and what they were trying to do with them, because we have seen it is awkward. There's the inevitability of awkwardness because of the amount of people you have crammed into that room. It is not a very big space. So it is, and especially with who gets unfortunately seated the furthest away. Remember how long we waited for Jacqueline Bisset's insane, batshit crazy speech from, what was that, 2013 or 2014, which still remains one of the best things, one of the most wonderfully Golden Globe things that has ever happened. Just the amount of time it took for her because of how far back her table was with stars.
The stars table, like it was barely.
And this year that award went to John Wells and R. Scott Gemmell, who were put so far in the back they practically had to come from Tarzana to get the fucking award.
And I actually switched back and forth. I was switching at certain times back and forth to the football game. That was one of the moments was because they were taking so long to get up there.
And I
couldn't bear to hear what they were saying.
No, it was not fun.
Not at all. I wish I wasn't so sick so I could keep up with all your energy in the rants. Wow. But yeah. I agree. Kevin Frazier actually, I think, was the announcer last year, and he was just as bad. And also, I don't think there's ever been a more clear sign of, an impending recession than the Poly Market uh,
Oh,
showing up for each category on which which Sarah Snook must be feeling really bad about that if she looked that up, if she watched that before her
I
category.
feel bad. I feel
But
bad
yeah,
myself.
Nikki Glazer, excuse me, Nikki Glazer, her and Chelsea Handler are the closest thing we'll ever get to having a Ricky Gervais style host. Which, speaking of Ricky Gervais, Wanda Sykes calling him and Bill Maher out. Funniest moment of the night.
That was one of the best presentations of the night.
Omar was confused.
Bill
And
Maher's always confused.
And that's the thing. The meme of him being confused is gonna take any other meme of him away from his own show, and that's gonna be glorious.
Yeah.
No, but
yeah.
I'm sorry. To me, it is the height of journalistic malfeasance. If you are an entertainment journalist, you have no business announcing an award show and then making it all about you. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear what they said to you on the red carpet. Is this information we could only get from you? I'm pretty sure there are other sources. Um, and I'm sorry. It added nothing to the show other than to make. I mean, let's just tick down some of the list here. I'm on a roll here.
Let's go.
So, Nikki Glazer, A+ monologue.
It's
Fantastic.
CBS News. That was one of
Yes.
the best jokes I've ever heard.
Loved it. The presenter banter. What the hell? I mean, how many bad cliches can we do? The
Yeah.
minute, I mean, if somebody had had a drinking game when they used the term art and moving and powerful, I mean, we'd all have alcohol poisoning. I mean, Jesus Christ. The
Priyanka
bad
Chopra
presenter.
one was the worst. With that banter about the Steelers or Pittsburgh or something. I'm just like, somebody please shoot me right now
Yeah.
because I cannot watch this any longer.
Or as Nikki Glazer called her, Priyanka Chopra Jones, which I thought was hilarious. And you want to talk about time sucks. That stupid way that they present the nominees. It takes time to dim the lights, then light up those specific tables and the arrows that remind you of an old shopping mall map that says you
I
are
was
here.
complaining about that last year. I hated that they did that last year. The you are here things.
Tiny window. That's the nominees there, and the rest is a dark room. What are you doing? Stop this. Fix this. This is not good.
You don't have to get fancy with it. It was fine when you just read off their names and you cut to them in the audience. That works.
Yeah, with a Chiron, this is who I am. Next nominee, next, and just keep. We don't need to see the room. Nobody cares about the room. Okay, just want to be clear about that.
We understand it's full of famous people and it's very cramped.
We get it, but please stop. Go ahead.
No, that's about it. I mean, this was maybe a 2.5 hour show that got stretched into infinity, and I'm like, Jesus Christ,
another ad.
It just.
Why is this so hard? I actually was saying before we went live. I was actually saying that. Okay, that the last bits at the end with Julia Roberts just doing her Julia Roberts thing, and the thing with George Clooney and Don Cheadle presenting the best picture categories, I thought those bits were actually brilliant, but they didn't work for me, at least, because the ceremony had gone on for so long. If they had done those bits at the intended, like at the 5-minute left mark, they would have been home runs.
I thought they were great. The problem was that I was like,
because one thing, it was just Julia Roberts being Julia Roberts with the way that she presents things. Like I remember when she presented the lead actor drama at the Emmys, and that year was like that was the most insanely roster ever in terms of like acting power. Kevin Spacey, Woody Harrelson, John Hamm, Bryan Cranston, Jeff Daniels.
McConaughey.
And McConaughey, all in that category. And she opens it up and she keeps going, "This is horrible. I can't believe it." And we're just all charmed because it's her. And but at the same time, we're just going, "Just bring."
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I just want to say while we wait for him.
Oh yeah.
Brace
Well, I
for,
don't know if we're even okay. Go.
brace for the YouTube Oscars. That's it.
Oh God, you're right.
All these complaints times 100.
You're right. Okay. We've lost Tony. I mean, we've
No,
lost
I'm right.
Charles.
I was like, I'm right
Okay.
here.
Oh, sorry. So let's go through while we wait for Charles. Why don't we just talk about a few of the parts of the show that just whether you liked it or not, I don't know. This whole thing was just too long. The winners were kind of boring, but a lot of people don't like it when you say that because if they're deserving, they're deserving. I do just really enjoy sometimes some really interesting surprises or where awards groups go their own way, and tonight that didn't really happen, and that's okay. But maybe if we just start at the TV side, we haven't really, or not start, we've already started, but if we just continue on and talk about the TV side for a bit, because that always seems to get short shrift at this time of year. So The Pit did quite well. Ray Seahorn backed up her Critics' Choice Award with a win at the Golden Globes. The Studio did really well again. Jean Smart just cannot lose. She's always winning in the comedy category. But
Greedy
Adolescents
bitch, Jane Smart.
bitch. I love it as she said that. And so Dying for Sex finally got something. Michelle Williams, I really thought Sarah Snook had that one in the bag. And it reminds me as well the joke that Nikki Glaser made about Claire Danes doing that thing. I just laughed out loud. I thought that whole monologue was so funny. And yeah, Erin Doherty, I don't know if you guys heard this in the States, but she just got up and just said, "What the fuck?" or something like that. It was very, very funny.
Yeah, but
Perfect timing.
what's hilarious about that, Rob, is that it's like they didn't quite get the delay button hit at the right time
Really?
because she was like, "What the uck?" It was like the first letter was all that was missing. And it's like, "Oh, well, and then she said, 'Holy shit.'" And then everything was right with the world.
Everything is right with the world.
When
And then,
when something gets bleeped, it's either shit or fuck.
pretty much. Pretty much. I was thinking, I was wondering how it would be if on an awards show in this day and age that people were as political as they used to be. I just feel like with what's going on in the world, particularly what's going on politically in the United States, I feel like even though the industry is making some really interesting art that seems to be pushing back against whatever, it's not that way at awards shows anymore. Everyone's very guarded and very careful about what they're saying, obviously because they don't want to get picked on or attacked by right-wing media or the president even. And that's kind of sad. I think Jean Smart almost wanted to say something. She said she had a rant on the red carpet. No idea. I didn't watch I would never ever watch the red carpet. But she almost said something, and I think there might have been one or two other people that I think someone said that we live in. Oh, it was Judd Apatow said, "Oh, we basically live in a dictatorship." That was pretty much it. They didn't give Fox News any material to complain tonight. Sean Hannity has nothing now to say because it was very well behaved, and they all talked about love and being nice to each other. And if you can find something to complain about with that, then I really feel you need to go outside and touch some grass. What are your thoughts, Tony?
I'm sure certain people, Sasha Stone, will find something to complain about. But I have a feeling that maybe they were kind of maybe instructed to not be overly political, but also kind of what's the point?
Rob, Rob,
Yeah.
Rob, look at me. Look at me.
Yes.
I'm the host now.
Oh God.
How's that for a reference?
Jeez, you're pretty
Let's
good.
keep in mind the Globes. Let's keep in mind the Globes are on CBS.
CBS News. What were we saying?
Political stuff.
Political
Yeah,
stuff.
I missed. I had to restart my camera. What I mean, what were we saying about holding back on political stuff?
Yes, that's what we were saying. That it was very held back. I think I don't know. I really like this that political stuff. I just love seeing people take a risk, and I love controversy. And we didn't really get a lot of that tonight. It was very nice, cutesy. People were really happy. Um, what I really just I'm sick and tired of, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Stop playing off the winners. I know some of them are a bit verbose. The lady who won for K-pop Demon Hunters, I think she'd still be there if they didn't play her off, and that's okay. This is her moment. I would rather see that than see dumb banter where it's just embarrassing, or the UFC people come out. I'm going to bring that up again because I still can't believe it.
Is it bad that I saw the joke coming from a mile away?
Did you? Oh, okay.
When I knew they were like for like hot security. I was like, oh, well, they're doing this in the lead up to presenting them as presenters.
Right. Yeah, I didn't get it. Look, what is there? Is there like a UFC link? I didn't understand. Can you
No,
explain this?
it's just because that they're the hottest thing right now.
No,
Oh,
and
I
it's
see.
also because I think didn't the UFC sign a big broadcasting deal with Paramount Plus?
I believe they did. Yeah.
Oh, right. So it's corporate
So that was
synergies.
the way
Okay.
a way of working it in.
Okay.
Yeah, because you
It's
have
like
the,
I said. It's like I said to you guys. I think I said this to you guys. It's that when they did the whole poly market thing with the whole
which
poly market thing, I was saying to myself that PMC, as the owner of the Golden Globes, really lost an opportunity for corporate synergy by putting up the Gold Derby odds. You'd think that'd be
Yeah.
corporate synergy 101.
Like I don't get that. Why didn't they do that? Like, maybe there was a reason. I'm not privy to those
And that's
internal
just us
conversations.
being bitter because the site that we're a part of wasn't included.
I think yeah, exactly, and I think Gold Derby should be included. It's the number one source. It's the original. It's the OG Hollywood website, and it wasn't included. But that's okay. Polymarket obviously knows what they're talking about. God help us all. So yeah, I was just like thinking to myself, what else was good about it? The podcast award that no one really wanted. At least we kind of ended in it with a nice story, with a nice ending, which is Amy Poehler wins. She's the least problematic. It's a fun podcast if you
You
ever
can't
listen.
get
I've
mad
listened
at her for winning because we just
to
like
it.
her. Yeah, her podcast is great.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought
But
that
if
was
you
all
wanted to
pretty
make a
cool.
statement, you could have given it to the NPR show.
Yeah, yeah, and that was fun. It was funny how she made that joke about NPR was really the only serious podcast in that mix. And look, can we just also say this, and then I'll shut up for a bit. But I just want to put on record that the nominees for score were Alexander Desplat for Frankenstein, and Johnny Greenwood for One Battle After Another, Max Richter for Hamnet, Hans Zimmer for F1 the movie, Kang Ray for Sirat, and the winner was Ludwig Göransson for Sinners. Okay, I think that they deserve at least that much respect as opposed to what the Golden Globes did to them tonight.
They
Okay, that's
absolutely
the
deserve that. They all deserve that. Even for just like for the split second to hear, kind of for like wouldn't that be is that wouldn't that be, would have been awesome for like Kangdon Ray's family, to be watching
yeah,
the Golden Globes, their son's a nominee
yeah,
in Best Original Score, and then his name ends like 3 seconds of his incredible EDM score. Not even an EDM fan, but I did love that score. And I thought that
yeah, like
score really
nothing.
went
They
well
get
with the
nothing.
movie. And so like for that like that takes away a moment for them and for him.
It's just nonsense, and I really hate how they do that. It's like there's like two classes of people that are worthy of attention, and like the composers shouldn't be. And so don't do that again, okay, Globes? Please don't do that again. You might as well just get rid of the whole category if you can't be bothered to announce it on screen. So other than that, and then there's really not a lot to talk about in the movie side because it was just like what we were expecting, apart from Hamnet, which was probably second or third in the odds anyway. It wasn't exactly like as if it was this huge
Still
shocker.
so pissed at you. You made me break my web camera.
I
That's
know, I
right.
can't
That's what I was
believe
pissed about when my web camera went out. Is that I had switched some of my predictions because of you assholes.
like every time I know, thank God Margot Martindale wasn't nominated, otherwise your whole apartment would have fallen over. So like,
Oh god,
you know,
I'd be on Bjork terrorist crazy alert there if that had happened.
Although how
so
adorable was Chloe? I mean, I love the image of Chloe Zhao just being completely shocked and Steven Spielberg having to like push her physically, like we have to go up there, and that was kind of adorable.
That is something to
Jesse,
see Spielberg trying to pass the microphone to someone else.
I know. Jesse
That
Buckley.
is very out of character for him.
I think Jessie Buckley is cemented herself, really as the front runner because not only does she keep winning, but she keeps giving great speeches. I just want to hear her talk, and she's so charming and and delightful, and her speeches are funny and
And
they're
she doesn't seem
heartfelt.
so
And
effortless.
she does. She just seems like somebody you want to go have a beer with.
Yeah.
Or drinking content. I would love to be in a drink. I know I'd lose to her, but I mean, just I'd lose to anybody. But that's another thing. But I would, God, she'd be a great drinking buddy.
Definitely.
Which is all to say, all to say to all the places that are hosting these events, let's just keep giving that free liquor to Jessie Buckley.
That's how it's got to work. But can we just also just talk about this cinematic achievement box office, whatever the hell that award's called? We complained about it a few days ago on the podcast, so I don't want to address that again. But I'm just thinking, like, Sinners won, cool. I was very happy about that. But if I was from Sinners, won that, but then I didn't win Best Picture Drama, I'd be like, oh, so is this award now just a consolation prize? Is that really what we're doing now? Because that's shit. I don't want that.
It's
I don't
weird
want
how it used to be. I feel like the consolation prize used to be being put in the musical or comedy category.
Exactly. Or you win screenplay or something. This one is dumb. Please stop. And I was really, really convinced that K-pop Demon Hunters would win it after what Tony said the other day. Very, very astute argument. And then I think it was even talked about how it's got the most streamed film on Netflix of all time, 500 million. Like, what? That's insanity. Why didn't that win? Oh, you tell me.
I just had to win something during the broadcast.
Yeah. Yeah. So where does that leave us? So what's next on the calendar? Do we have a couple of weeks until the SAG? We've got Oscar nominations, and I think in 2 weeks, or next week, or the week after. No, it's the week after next.
The 22nd, I believe.
So that's next Thursday.
Next Thursday. So this week they're voting. They start voting Monday.
Tomorrow they're voting. Yeah.
Yep. All the way to Friday, I think. And there'll be bake-offs and there'll be lots of voting on the short lists. So this is going to be the craziest week for a little while because everyone's out there doing interviews, doing media, having events. The Golden Globes have just happened.
Jafar Panahi will take off his sunglasses at some point for a huge face reveal.
Exactly. So there's so much to look forward to. But I feel like if you're looking at winners and losers for the Oscar race tonight, the big winner was Jessie Buckley, one battle after another. And that's it. I think everything else is still up in the air for me. Like Amy Madigan is no longer a front runner. She's now got a battle.
Her chances aren't gone. Her chances aren't gone.
It's not gone. But I feel like now it's a race, and I feel like on the same side, on the supporting actor side, Best Actor is really up in the air. Timothy Chalamet, Wagner Moura, if he's nominated, who the hell knows? And that's great. I love that. So yeah, what else?
I think that the supporting categories are kind of all sewn up. Are the only ones that are not all sewn up. I think Buckley's probably winning the Oscar. I still think Chalamet's gonna take this all the way. But yeah, I mean, I think supporting actor is the one where we don't know yet because we know we're not going to get a Stellan repeat at SAG. We haven't even gotten the BAFTA nominations yet. So what's going to fill that slot? Is it possible that we could have, if you take Critics' Choice and Golden Globes and SAG and BAFTA, what if we don't have a single repeat winner?
Remind me, who won Critics' Choice the year of Brendan Fraser and Austin Butler?
Brendan.
It was Brendan. Brendan won that one? Okay.
I mean, when it comes to these acting categories, again, like, I feel like because these winners were expected because they were all, most of them were if not all of them were the perceived front runners when Golden Globe voting ended, like hours before the CCA aired, and then CCA just like up at like caused some drama. But now that it's like shifted back to that race, to that perspective, I think it's now. I think a lot of it is going to be a bit more level-headed. Um, I think Stellan can easily win BAFTA. Like I said, that is prime sentimental value bait. They're the European film with the white cast, um, and
It's sad but true.
and Amy Madigan again, it really just depends on the passion for her film because like Weapons is likely not making Best Picture, so that's all she has is the passion of her performance, and we've seen over the years. Regardless of your age, let's say like with Mikey Madison last year, if you're in a if you're in a Best Picture frontrunner or a Best Picture nominee, and there's passion for your performance, that's pretty much the combo, like narrative, regardless of your narrative. It's not about
And
like
it feels like the only, and I will say, it feels like the only person who really has had that narrative, other than that really solid narrative, other than Amy Madigan, is Tiana Taylor.
exactly, and she can easily go along for that ride, and like
And it's not like, and it's not for any. It's like what I think it's also saying something that when we were looking to draw a parallel for something, we were very easily able to make the parallel to Mahershala Ali and Moonlight.
yeah, and last thing I'll
Someone
say,
who's there for like the first third of the movie and then is just gone.
yeah, exactly, and
Although she does have her, we do hear her voiceover at the end of this.
yeah, and last thing I'll say is like, there's like I think there's like less it's become less about like, speeches or like the overdue narrative, especially when it comes to like Timothy Chalamet. Like he can easily cruise his way to the Oscar. And he doesn't have an overdue narrative. Like he just turned 30. He's not even overdue for his colonoscopy. So this is like a
Oh,
new
shit,
like,
I got to make that appointment. Fuck.
this is with this expansion of like the Academy's voting members, more people are watching. It's really like shed a light about how more people are like watching these performances and judging. More people are judging it by who gives the best performance of the five.
Mm.
Yeah, the one thing that I think maybe works in Amy Madigan's favor, I mean, was that Weapons nomination at PGA.
That helps.
And Weapons got got a shout out from PTA
Yeah.
on one of his wins. So I think it's between those two. I think it's between Tiana and Amy Madigan. Um, I think Amy Madigan is pretty safe to win SAG. Um,
I don't know,
if
man.
she,
I don't know. I'm kind of that's. I think if, I would be more on the Tiana train if I wasn't now so confident in One Battle winning the cast, winning the ensemble award um, at SAG at this point. So I'm still kind of, I don't know.
You know, I've got this like fear. I think Weapons is either going to. I think it's could make it into Best Picture and Amy Madigan and possibly screenplay because it didn't get a makeup shortlist mention, which is really odd and also could be ominous for what I'm about to say, which is I'm actually worried that it gets nothing and Amy Madigan is snubbed because we've seen a few other amazing performances from women in horror films be snubbed in the past. And I know there's a narrative for Amy Madigan, and she's not Lupita Nyong'o and she's not Toni Collette. But I am really worried about this, and I feel like it could happen, and it could be the big story of the day where we all talk about. There's always got to be that one snub or that one thing where we're like, "Can you believe this person missed out? We were so certain." What if it's her? Like that would be really, really horrible. I hope it's actually the other side of it. I want it to see in Best Picture, Best Screenplay, Best Supporting Actress at the very least. Does anyone feel you that that she could miss? Like really, she could.
if you want to talk about snubs, I don't have Ariana Grande in.
That is possible, and that people will be pissed.
That seems very possible.
There's just no heat for the movie.
I just find it very hard to believe that she would be the only above the line nomination based on her based on her reputation. Like, cause she is not Amy Madigan. Like, she's not like had like 40, 50, 30, 40 years as like a respected actor in all these with a huge body of work spanning film and television and theater and whatnot.
There's something I'm looking up actually right now.
Okay. While
Okay,
you're doing that,
I'm sorry. I was just looking up. So I was wondering if Lupita Nyong'o had what she actually got in for us, and she did get nominated at SAG. She did not get nominated at the Golden Globes. So that's kind of, I would say, if the fact that Amy got in at the Golden Globes, and if she gets in at BAFTA, I think she'll be. I think she'll be okay. At least, but then again, there's always that one person who every year they get in everywhere, and then they all of a sudden just miss at the Oscars. It was Katrina Balfe for Belfast, I believe, got in everywhere, and then missed it for Judi Dench.
That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, and then of course, like Daniel Bruhl got in everywhere, then just missed at the Oscars for Rush. There's always that's one of the things that it's not just wondering like who's going to get in, it's who's going to get left out, and we try to make these calculations of based on what precursors.
Well, and we've got
I was saying like whenever I have a choice to go between BAFTA or SAG or the SAG statistics, I always inevitably choose the wrong one every year.
Well, and we've got an additional problem this year in that the BAFTA nominations don't come out until after the Oscar nominations.
That's right.
The Oscar nominations are on January 22nd, and the BAFTA nominations are not until the 27th.
Is the ceremony happening after the Oscars too, or are they still pre-Oscar ceremony?
It's before SAG. It's before SAG.
Yeah.
The actual award ceremony?
Yep.
Okay.
When is the SAG ceremony?
Right.
BAFTA ceremony is
the week before the Oscars.
Oh, okay. Yeah, BAFTA is the 22nd of February.
So wait, the SAG award ceremony is the weekend before the Oscars?
Yeah, so it's in March. I think it's the first week, Sunday of March.
Oh my God. So we're not going to have that. So even trying to apply like SAG logic to that. Oh, wow. Okay. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Like SAG, I think voting for the Oscars for the Oscar winners will happen after SAG airs.
In that 1 week span between the Oscar ceremony?
I think it's 2 weeks span. Because Oscars aren't until mid-March, right?
Well, I thought you said they were the week before. That's what I thought you said.
Oh, then I was wrong.
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. Maybe I'm just. Someone look this up. I'm too baked to do anything serious right now.
I'm going to love
the Oscars are the 15th of March. But I gotta look up when voting is.
So I'm going to love you and leave you. It was really great to see you all. Everybody, please make sure you stick with us. There should be a new episode of the podcast at some point in the next few days. More interviews. And have a great day, everybody. And bye.
Take care. All right, we're good.
That was so abrupt.
Well, it was time.